Welcome everyone to the final podcast on this momentous test match, and you've got me from Women's Cricket Chat, and with me again today we have
Radha from She Talks Ball.
Yeah, and for those of you that tuned in for the last few days, you know who we are and what we're about, all about the women's game. And yeah, so it's been quite a lot to digest really, hasn't it?
A bit too much in 4 days, and I'm loving it. Honestly, I couldn't get enough of this.
Yeah, I think, it's better to have too much to digest than not enough.
Nothing, yeah.
So go with that. So if you could sum it up in one sentence, what would you say? Let's go for day 4 first. We'll start on day 4 and then we'll give the match a little rundown.
One word would be resilience, which is something I wanted to see at the end of day 3, and I think we did see that. One sentence would be, women belong in Test cricket.
Stop it. We love that. They do, but it's the kind of thing you want to see. Like, no one wants a damp squib, and it just showed how great this could be. I think, give it 5 days, and it could have been even more phenomenal. We love a 5-day test. Remember, there was all that chat last year about test matches don't need to be 5 days. Well, actually, I'm going the other way and saying, this is proof that test matches need to be 5 days for men, women, boys, girls, everyone. Give me a 5-day test match. Thank you very much. Yes, it was a draw, and in the history book you'll look at it and go, oh, it's a drawn test match. But firstly, it opens up the series, because what was it? If you lost this test match, you were going to have to win nearly every single one of the next games, and that kind of is great. As I like it that the point system works like that, but you know, you don't want a series finished before it's even started, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it was all about a 9th wicket partnership, really, wasn't it, today?
Wow. No words for this. I think we as India fans did see similar things in Australia when our men went over there in Jan-Feb. But
that was great. As a series, that was fab. But
that was fabulous. And to have this right up there, we have all the Indian fans. I think, again, the New Zealand match was stopped due to bad light or something was going on there. I'm not quite sure what. But everyone tuned into this. There were journalists tweeting about it. Every single one who watches cricket in India was watching that Kriti performance towards the end. And it just got better and better with every ball. It was fabulous.
Yeah, so the day started out and we were all talking about what I'm going to refer to as the Shefali party. But then I was thinking Shefali Diwali, which I think is actually just fantastic. I was so pleased with myself on that one. Anyway, aside from me, you know, blow my own trumpet there. So started off with this Shefali party, and then I was sort of thinking, you know, we get Shefali and, you know, it's homeward stretch really from there. But as you say, resilience was key from India today, and it wasn't about that hitting the runs. It was playing for the draw essentially, but you know, they were ticking along quite nicely for a while.
Yeah, I think Shefali Diwali works really well because Diwali is the festival where we burst firecrackers and there are fireworks, and that is what Shefali is, and that's what she brings.
Should we claim that one, you and I? We'll take Shefali Diwali and we're going to make that a thing.
Trademark and royalties as well. It was fantastic. But yeah, we needed a gritty performance. We needed Deepti to hang in there. Youngster debut performance, massive innings. In retrospect, it was maybe 7 hours ago that took place, but just as crucial as the one we saw half an hour ago.
Definitely.
And starting from Shefali to Deepti, then to a little bit of a collapse that we had thanks to the great Sophie Eccleston, and then back to this 9th wicket partnership. It could not be written any better for this match.
It really was a week of debutants, really, wasn't it? Which is nice because then it proves that the future is bright for the women's game. Like, we've got all these stars coming through, and within the space of 4 days, they're sort of all jostling for a position. We're like, nah, I'm the star. Nah, it's me. Nah, it's me. And I love that because, they do make me feel blooming old, but it's great to watch, and it means that there's so much for the future. We've got our proper gritty veterans like Catherine Brunt, but they won't be around forever.
Yeah.
And we've already got the others coming through, and I love it.
It's brilliant, and a few of the debutants are quite young, but Sneh Rana, for example, is 27, and it is also proof there that you can come through the domestic ranks and make it to the team at whatever age, as long as you are in form and you have the skill required, and she proved that. So it's a great sort of representation for people who maybe didn't make it at the age of 17, like Shefali and a bunch of others have. But you keep working hard and you'll get called up and recognized. And
that's
that was
what we've been saying about things like the Rachel Hale Flint Trophy this year. You know, it's an example that what I like to refer to as the middle-aged bunch, who might have missed that initial load and aren't the youngsters coming through now, you know, with more of the contracts and stuff. They sort of got that chance now. And it's like Devon Conway in that New Zealand-England series. You know, he's what, 29 or something, and made his international debut and was like, oh, I'll just casually score a double hundred. And yeah, you can debut at any age as long as you're in form. What does it matter?
Spot on.
Yeah, but not on debut, but a bloody shining star, Sophie Eccleston. Let's just have a moment to talk about that, because she can just perform. You know, she just turns it on.
I think her left shoulder needs like a month off, because there were 4 fast bowlers, and then anytime they needed a spinner, they were like, Sophie, come back, we need you.
Yeah.
Heather Knight played a good role there with the part-time spin, but Sophie carried that bowling innings. And to think that England were actually bowling 3 out of 4 days. So Sophie was always at it whenever needed.
Yeah.
8 wickets. She actually took more wickets than Mithali scored runs. And that tells you what kind of a performance Sophie had. Quite awesome.
Yeah, she really is just top form, and she's gonna look great this summer. You know, there's so much women's cricket, and yeah, she's gonna be on the ice on that shoulder, I think, for the rest of the afternoon. Just shove that shoulder in an ice bath. But yeah, like you said, England have been in the field basically solidly for 3 days, and that they did look tired, and that's not because of the lack of Test cricket. I think anyone would be tired after 3 days out in a field like that.
Yeah, surely. I mean, that's natural. And that again, there are 2 sides to it. That if they were looking tired because they haven't played for so many years or months, give them more matches, you know, they'll get up there. That's all. I think that's the answer. Is more matches will help them figure out what it takes to win a test match, will help them figure out how to space out your innings, strategy, everything that you need to know will come from being there. That's what sport is. It's about the experience. You can't read a textbook and figure anything out. And I think this is just more and more incentive to schedule more test matches. It's 5 days, and we had this one-off test. We could have easily flown over 10 days before and had a second test as well. So I think baby steps, but we need to really grow from here and not to say, that was it, thank you very much, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, exactly. And what were the thoughts on where the Indian bowlers can make a difference here, you know, because the English, we didn't see much of them in the last few days, so we haven't discussed them for a while, but what do you think they can do differently looking to the next few games?
Yeah, I think the Indian bowlers will be disappointed in themselves, especially Shikha Pandey, Jhulan Goswami are veterans, needed to be more impactful, and I think the reason they weren't too impactful is again a double-edged sword, because they weren't impactful and then Mithali kind of subbed them out for the spinners. But again, if you kept them on longer, maybe they would have settled in and then had some sort of impact. So I think it's a tandem of having the bowlers use their skill, line length, everything, but also having the captain and the management have faith in them and keep them for longer spells and change out less frequently. I think Heather Knight managed her bowlers very well, and you know, in 3 days it's very crucial the way you sub in and sub out all the bowlers. But I think the Indian bowlers could have had better, longer spells just to settle in, kind of match their rhythm with the bowler bowling on the opposite end. And I think it's a good start, but they will feel much more comfortable going into the limited over series and taking it from there.
Yeah, and we've got our girl Catherine Brunt. What an absolute blinding catch she took today. Oh, let's have a Catherine Brunt moment. Yeah. Oh, she's just so good. But yeah, you can't keep up the game. Her and Sophie Eccleston just seem to be everywhere, you know, either with the ball, catching the ball, doing this, doing that.
I mean, Catherine Brunt had one mission, and it was to be involved in the Shefali Verma dismissal, whatever it took.
Oh, what a battle those two were having. I was loving it.
Brilliant. And if not the MBE for that delivery, MBE for that catch. I mean, we have to make it happen.
Yeah, MBE. You heard that, everyone? Catherine Brunt, MBE. Catherine Brunt, MBE, and Shefali Diwali. We're taking both of those.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking on the balance between those two now going into the series? I was asking that today to our followers. Do we think it's 1-1, Brunt, Verma? Or
I would say 1-1.
1-1. I'm going to go with 1-1 going into the limited overs.
Yeah, I would say 1-1 as well. There was a bit of a hard time given to Catherine Brunt in the field where Shefali was having Shefali Diwali, as you mentioned. firepower all around. But that catch kind of, seals the deal, especially because that's the most recent event. And the next 1 week of no cricket, that's what will be remembered, that diving catch. That's going to be on the replay for the next week.
Full toss, she goes again. Could be a chance at long on, and what a catch! Spectacular work by Catherine Brunt in the deep.
So I reckon 1-1 going into this and keep the battle fair going into the limited overs. But about Catherine Brunt, Sneha Rana actually towards the end press conference, she said that, I take so much confidence from this performance. I got to face Catherine Brunt. I've never faced her before. It was really cool. And yeah, I was glad that I could stick around and sort of face her bowling very well. And that tells you what kind of a legend Catherine Brunt is, isn't it?
Oh, she is. I mean, I would not want to face her. Thank you very much. I think I'd rather face her than drop a catch off her, though.
Fair enough. And I think Sophia Dunkley on the boundary line for 4-5 hours now, she was just diving every single time Catherine Brunt got hit for a boundary, just to make sure that, I tried my best. It went for 4, but I gave it my everything.
Yeah, and also apparently another person that's terrible to drop a catch off is Sophie Ecclestone. Alex Hartley was talking on Test Match Special I was listening to today, and she was saying that they were playing in a Northwest Thunder match in the Rachel Hayes Flint Trophy. And she was saying that Ecclestone was like, I'm so glad that person dropped it off you, not me, because I would throw the ball at her face. Oh. And Hartley was like, oh, okay, well, she didn't do it on purpose, but you can tell just what a gritty competitor she is.
Yeah, and you can tell that in the performance on the field. And that's how we know Catherine Brunt is one. And it's very clear that Sophie is very well forming into one as well.
Yeah, and I did want her to get a 5 though. She very much deserved it. 2 4-fers is great, but you'd love a 5, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think it's a similar story to Shefali's 96, where we haven't sort of got to that mark that everyone talks about. But the wickets that she's taken, Mithali twice, 4 wickets in every innings at the crucial time where she collapsed our middle order and suddenly we had 2 bowlers out on the crease, I would consider that a 5-fer in my book.
Yeah, we'll take that. We love an honorary 5-fer. We had an honorary 63, an honorary 5-fer, and we started Shefali Diwali. So, we're set. And so we can finish off with the test match. That was fantastic. Just a great display of cricket all round. It's great to see the girls in the whites. And we just loved it. So we go into the rest of the series. Next game is back at Bristol, 27th of June. So actually not that far away.
Yeah, about a week.
Flying, isn't it? Mental. Going 2 points apiece, which is quite exciting because it's still all to play for, which I love. What do you think both sides can take differently into the limited overs, or is it just building on this?
Yeah, it's definitely building on this. I think India will be comfortable with the weather conditions, the ground conditions, things like that. I think we haven't come over for a while, and starting off with the test match is hard because the entire mentality aspect of a test match is very different. And sometimes it takes time to adjust to the physical conditions, but being in that stressful environment, they were probably focusing on the mental conditions. So they'll take a week, they'll figure out what they need to do, when to bowl spinners, when to bowl their seamers, things like that. And for England, I think since we have so many new faces in India, it's a good chance to reflect on what kind of matchups work. Brunt will be thinking of how to get Shefali out, of course. And I think it's a great time to sort of pick up the finer details on who bats how and things like that going forward, which will really help them get wickets and make runs.
Yeah, and it's just what also has been so fantastic is if you look across social media, there has been so much talk about we want more women's test matches, we want more of this, and that's what we love to see. But yeah, back to on the white ball stuff. Obviously, there is a bit of history there. I'm just going to bring up casually that World Cup final. Maybe that one.
So.
But then you could bring up, T20s. You made it to the final there, which was in front of that ridiculous crowd at the MCG, which just seems a complete different world, doesn't it? Having that many people at a ground watching a cricket match, but it will return, and maybe Katy Perry will be back.
Well, we'd love that. I think that was a
fireworks. Oh my god, this could work so nicely. We could have Shefali Diwali with fireworks and Katy Perry singing Firework, and it's like full circle, all set, we're done.
Holy Trinity. I think we've nailed it. We've cracked it.
Yeah, I think we can go for the mic drop, the Joe Root mic drop. There and then crashed it. But yeah, so who has been your, other than we had Shefali, we had Sophie Ecclestone, who was your standout person or standout moment of this match?
It's hard to look past Sneh Rana's second innings batting, all odds stacked against her. Probably hasn't come to England before. That would be not a moment because it was a good 2.5 hours that she was out there. So
it wasn't a moment at all.
It wasn't a moment. I think one of the standout moments has to be Catherine Brunt's catch. That is something that when she caught that, I said the game's over. It just felt that kind. It felt
and that's the thing,
hard
it's going to take something special to stop that Shefali thing. And there's a catch, you can take it, like in the first innings was just a bit, but it was a phenomenal catch. And the fact that it was Brunt, and it was almost just like destiny, one of those moments, if it was going to be someone and it was going to be an incredible catch, it was going to be her, and you knew it. And it was almost like, as it came off Shefali, you were like, if this goes to Brunt, like, she's gone. Doesn't matter how difficult the catch is going to be.
Yeah, and the roar after she caught it tells you everything about that. So that has to be one of my highlight moments of this test match. Being an Indian fan doesn't matter. It was quality build up to that catch. The rivalry that they've had for the past couple of days was incredible. And I definitely say that kind of tipped everything a little more, made everything rock the boat a little bit. Suddenly we were like, what's going to happen here? It's going to take some new person to again dig deep. Shefali did it in the first innings. We're going to need somebody else to do that. And that set up the stage for Sneh Rana, Tanya Bhatia towards the end. Towards the end, I mean, we really took the game away from England. Like, if we'd gone on for 10 more overs, I think Sneh would get 100, Tanya would get a 50. I think those innings are sort of immortal now in Indian fans' mind. It was quite something.
Yeah, it really was. And what also was so great was how it was like shown everywhere. I don't know if you managed to view it as easily in India as we could, but it was streamed on TV, it was all on the radio, it was everywhere, people tweeting about it and everything. And it's just so nice to see how much appreciation it's actually getting, and not just because it's this test match. It could have been like, oh yay, it's a test match, and then it could have been rubbish. But it wasn't. And it lived up to everything it should have done. There wasn't a win-loss result, but like I said earlier, the real winner was cricket.
Absolutely, and we got a good stream. It was unfortunate that they cut it off right after the last ball was bowled. So we didn't hear the press conference to its entirety, which we'd hope to correct the next time India goes over to England. We'll have a longer feed. But yeah, I think it's so good to see that you just put on the telly and suddenly you've got women's cricket there. You're gonna watch it. A kid putting on TV, seeing that, they're gonna watch it. They don't have to hunt for it, search for it, find an illegal stream or whatever that is. That's massive. And as soon as you make it accessible, people will automatically watch. I think that's just
I think this is a great example of that. Like, we've managed to connect across the world just through women's cricket. So get anyone anywhere. I have to get my England shirt next time. I think I am gonna have to. Don't tell England. I'm gonna have to get some kind of Shefali shirt. I think. Also, I love the retro Indian shirts, and maybe I'll go for a retro Indian one with a Shefali on the back, and just don't tell anyone.
I'll send you one.
Don't tell. You can have an Eccleston.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, see, there you go. Oh, also, can we just have a little moment yesterday for Eliza yesterday? The love for her, and what a gal.
So good. It was so good. I'd definitely be up for getting more young girls on like that. That was heartwarming, and I shared that video with everybody because it was so special. She
was great, and she just chatted away, and I loved her.
Yeah.
And we were trying to when we were trying to get a picture of her for afterwards, and her mum was like, she's already in her pajamas. Don't worry, she's got the shirt back on. Any excuse? And I was like, that's great. She probably slept in the end. I would have done at that age / now. But yeah, so I think, no one needs to listen to us talk too much because it has been amazing. And hopefully there'll be some more highlights. The last thing I wanted to bring up was the topic which was on everyone's lips at the beginning of the test, and luckily it didn't dominate too much or take over the play, was the used pitch. And actually it didn't come into play too much in the end, which is great because that would have just been so awful if this amazing moment for the game was ruined by something like that.
Yeah, that was actually good because we don't want external factors playing into something. We'd like to see a win or a loss or a result or not, depending on the skill executed by the players themselves and all the hard work they put into it. So it was good to see. I think another point was the overlapping test match, which first day was washed out. I think the weather gods are women, and the weather gods support women in test cricket because we got to see a full day of India women without the men having to overshadow that. So that was another positive, I think. And
Thank you, Mother Nature.
always
Not Father
supporting us.
Nature, Mother Nature got our back.
Yeah, so I think those two were the main talking points, and I'm glad that they didn't interfere too much.
Yeah, and I just want to finish with, like you said earlier, your tweet from today and what you said earlier. Say it with you. Women belong in
Women belong in Test cricket.
And we love it. And I think we can round off with that. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so the things I can conclude from today. Women belong in Test cricket. Shafali Diwali and get Katy Perry back on cricket.
Perfect.
For that firework moment. And it's just been so lovely. So thanks everyone for tuning in to listen to our musings. Sorry it's only been the two of us the last couple of days and my dog barking a lot in the background. Thanks to Eliza and her mum for joining us. And there'll be more of these going on. Just keep supporting the women's game, everyone. We'll have Radha with us hopefully throughout the rest of this series, but we have to appreciate that we're making her stay up very late for this as well, so thank you for that one. And thanks everyone, just keep supporting the game, doing what you do, follow us all. I'm at Georgie Heath 27, and then we'll also, you know what we're doing on our Women's Cricket Chat Twitter. And Radha, where can our followers and viewers find you?
You can catch me at She Talks Ball on Instagram and Twitter.
There we go. So thanks everyone, and hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed our chatting. Yeah, it's been great.
Take care.